Pardon the hair. You know, it's that mom life. Yeah. Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome to my channel. So for those of you who are new, my name is Christiane, otherwise known here as IHeartAirbrush. In today's video, we're going to be focusing on how to clean and maintain our airbrush. Yes, honey, sometimes the airbrush needs a little TLC. And today I'm going to go ahead and show you how to clean the various different types of airbrushes, starting off with the Temptu SP40 airbrush. So if you are interested in learning how to keep, maintain, and deep clean your Temptu SP40 airbrush, then please keep on watching. Alright, and before we get on to the cleaning portion of this video and all the good stuff, I just want to go ahead and remind you to make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it or found it helpful, and remember, as always, to subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. And if you are subscribed, or if you choose to subscribe today, don't forget to hit that little notification bell icon right next to the subscribe button and turn on your notifications. That way you get the quickest updates anytime I upload a video. Alright, without further ado, let's get on to the video. Alright, so first things first, you'll need your airbrush, SB cleaner, a detailing brush, micro brush set, Q-tip, your cleaning and travel caps if you have them, tweezers, a dropper, petroleum jelly, mineral oil, a tray, bottled water, and a multi-purpose cleaning solution for different types of airbrush makeup. So having all these things is great. You should have most of these things laying around your house. So then you'll also need isopropyl alcohol, a towel or paper towel, and a nozzle wrench, along with tissue, and it's best to have a cleaning pot. More preferably this one, because this one's awesome. Now, first things first, we're going to start by how to just clean your airbrush after you're done using it on the daily or after a job. So the best thing to do, of course, is to get your cleaning pot and your airbrush. Then you're going to go ahead and take some cleaning solution. Here I'm using SB cleaner because I did use SB makeup in this airbrush. I like to put the SB cleaner in the small bottle just because the tip or the dropper of this bottle is very precise. I got this from a very dear friend of mine. I'll have her link to her channel in the description box below, but I definitely recommend to check her out. Alright, so now I'm going to go ahead and take the SB cleaner and fill up the cup maybe a quarter to about a third of the way. Then I'm going to go in with a detailing brush and I'm just going to go ahead and dip it in the cleaner and just remove any dirt or debris that could be stuck to the walls of the cup. Swish it around on the bottom of the cup. And then I'm going to take the brush that is now saturated in cleaner and I'm going to go ahead and swirl it around the nozzle and the nozzle cap like so. The next step is optional, but it's something that I like to do frequently, and that is take a Q-tip saturated in a little bit of SB cleaner, pull my lever back, and then just roll the Q-tip in the needle cap like so. What this will do is get rid of any buildup or debris that built up in your needle cap when you're spraying out the makeup. Then I'm just going to go ahead and spray it all out into my cleaning pot like so. Cleaning pots are a great thing to have. It keeps everything nice and sanitary and neat as well. So whether you're using this for personal use or if you're a professional makeup artist, I definitely recommend that you go ahead and pick up a cleaning pot. Now, if you're using your airbrush for both silicone and water-based formulas, I recommend spraying a little bit of isopropyl alcohol, preferably 99%, and use your detailing brush to just remove any residue of the SB cleaner from the cup. That way your airbrush is ready to use when you are, regardless whether you're using SB or water-based formula. And there you have it, quick and painless. Now, if you're using your airbrush on the daily like I do, or of course you're getting a lot of good use out of it, I find that the Diner cleaning and travel caps are a wonderful tool to have. I did do a separate video on the cleaning and travel caps and what they're used for and how to use them, so I will link that in the description box below for you if you're interested. But I do use them across all of my airbrushes, not just my Diner one. So you just want to pop the front cap onto the front of your airbrush like so. Then you want to fill the well up with the cleaning solution. In this case, I'm using SB. Pull your lever back and then just go ahead and give the front a little swishy. And what that'll do is move product and makeup, forcing it back from the front of the airbrush to the cup and back. Once you're done giving a little swishy a couple times, you want to go ahead and take the lever insert like so, and just insert it between the lever and the cup, just like this. Okay, now once you have that inserted, you can go ahead and remove the hose. If you are traveling, this is a good way to store your airbrush. And the other portion that hangs off there just attaches to the bottom like so. Then you want to go ahead and take the cap and just attach it over top of the cup like so. And there you have it. Your airbrush is ready for a good soaking or ready for travel. I absolutely love and use my cleaning caps all the time, so I definitely recommend them. Now, if your airbrush is not running as smoothly as it normally runs, or no matter how much you clean it, it just doesn't seem to be spraying smoothly, everything feels stuck, yada yada yada, then you might want to go ahead and deep clean your airbrush. So first things first, you want to make sure your airbrush is completely naked, so go ahead and remove the cleaning caps and lever grip if you have them. And now that our airbrush is nice and bare, we're just going to go ahead and grab our tray, and that's going to act as a catch for all the small parts. So the first thing we're going to do is unscrew the tail cap of the airbrush like so. Once the tail cap is off, we're going to go in and unscrew the needle chucking nut. That's this little piece right here that holds the needle secure. Okay, then we're going to go ahead and remove the needle very carefully. You want to make sure not to damage your needle, okay? So don't bend, go at any funky angles, just remove it just by sliding it out horizontally. So since we have the needle, let's go ahead and dive in and clean it. So here I'm just taking some SB cleaner on a Q-tip, and I really love these bottles for that precision applicator, because if you've ever worked with SB cleaner, you know it can get a little bit messy. So these bottles make it really easy to disperse the product. So now I'm just going to go ahead and roll the saturated cotton swab across the needle like so on all sides, just to make sure to get rid of any dirt, debris, and buildup that may be preventing the needle from retracting. And you have a nice clean needle now. See all that dirt and gunk that was on the needle? And this airbrush was considered clean by me, okay? So definitely make it a habit to go ahead and clean your needle. Alright, so now that we are back to disassembling the airbrush, we're going to remove the nozzle and needle caps. Those are the caps located in the front of the airbrush, as you see here. So when you remove the front caps, it might come off in one piece like this. You just want to go ahead and separate the two caps by feeling the threaded portion in the middle of the two, and just twisting it off like so. This separates the needle cap from the nozzle cap. The nozzle cap is the one with the smaller orifice, and the needle cap is the one with the larger orifice. That's typically the one that is in the very front of your airbrush. So you just want to go ahead and set those down in the catch like so you don't lose them. Now you can either go ahead and continue by removing the nozzle or going toward the back end. I'm going to continue by removing the nozzle first, just order of operations and what I'm used to. So to do that, you need a nozzle wrench, and that should have come with your airbrush if you purchased a Temptu system like I did. Most airbrushes that have a nozzle such as this tend to have a nozzle wrench in the packaging, so make sure that you don't discard it, because you'll definitely need it to maintain your airbrush. Okay, so now we're just going to go ahead and take the needle nozzle wrench, line it up, and remove the needle nozzle just by loosening it slightly. And then we're just going to go ahead and loosen the rest just with our fingertips like so. This teeny tiny piece, yes, most important part of your airbrush. This needle nozzle is a 0.40 millimeter, hence the SP40 in the name of the airbrush. So yeah. Okay, so back to disassembling. Here we're going to remove the spring case at the back of the airbrush like so, just by twisting it off. Now this may take some time, but yes, it does twist off. So you just want to go ahead and remove that carefully, making sure not to drag the spring with it. This is the spring case, of course, once again. Then you want to go ahead and remove the spring like so. It just slides right off. Make sure to place it in your catch so it doesn't get misplaced. And then you want to remove the needle chucking guide very gently. You don't want to force it out. Forcing out can damage some of the parts, and you don't want to do that. So what you want to do is just go ahead and try to angle the trigger or lever scoop like so, and then it'll just slide right out. It may take a couple of tries, but be patient. I promise it'll slide right out easily. As you can see, the trigger or lever scoop is attached to the needle guide, so you definitely want to keep those two together. Next, we're going to go ahead and gently remove the trigger or lever just by lifting it slightly and twisting it out. As you can see, this is a little bit different from other airbrush styles, as the lever has a little pin on the bottom. Gently lifting and twisting it out will help remove it from the airbrush body safely, so you don't damage any of your parts. And then I just want to go ahead and take some time to show you that the trigger or lever scoop is actually attached to the needle chucking guide. So definitely make sure not to force these two pieces apart, because they are attached. Some airbrush models have them detached where you have to add them into your airbrush separately, but this one is attached, so do not force it apart. Now you can continue on by taking apart the rest of your airbrush, but there's really no need to take apart the bottom portion. So we're just going to go ahead and continue to clean and lubricate the pieces that we did remove. So for that, you just want to go ahead and remove the pieces that you're not going to be lubricating. And here we won't be lubricating or cleaning the needle because we already did that. There's no need to lubricate or clean the tail cap. We're not going to need to lubricate or clean the needle nozzle wrench, so you want to go ahead and just kind of move that to the side there. And then we're not going to clean the needle chucking nut or the lever. At least in this case, we're not going to go ahead and clean the lever. So here you can either take Vaseline or you can use mineral oil. Baby oil is just mineral oil that has a fragrance to it. So if you don't mind the scent and if you're using it for personal use, then you can go ahead and use baby oil. So in this case, I'm going to be taking Vaseline just because I prefer to use Vaseline to lubricate the parts of the airbrush like so. So just taking a little bit on my finger, not really going to go ahead and double dip at this point. I'm just going to lubricate the spring and the parts that have threading on it. So after I lubricate the spring, we're going to go ahead and lubricate the needle chucking guide like so. There is some threaded parts on the end of that guide. So then I'm going to go ahead and lubricate the spring cap also just on the threading. Once I have that lubricated, then we're going to go ahead and take the needle nozzle like so. Now there are two different ways to clean it. You can clean your needle nozzle by using a small brush or detail brush. If you use a small brush that's attached to a brush ring like I have here, you're going to have to make sure that the little brush is the correct size to fit in the needle nozzle that you have. Now this brush set fits most needle nozzles, but in this case it's a little bit too big for the nozzle that I have, which is a 0.40 millimeter. So here I'm going to take a detailing brush just because this will fit in the orifice a little bit better. After saturating the brush, I'm just going to move the bristles in and out of the orifice of the needle nozzle like so. And that should help move any dirt, debris, or buildup. So now let's go ahead and start reassembling our airbrush. To reassemble your airbrush, I like to start with the trigger or lever. Now, when you put the trigger into the airbrush body, you want to make sure to put it at an angle, and also keep in mind that on the top of your lever, there is a textured side. You want to make sure that the textured side is facing the front of the airbrush. So from here, you just want to take the lever with the pin horizontally and twist it so it's vertical. The pin is vertical, and there is a little groove on both sides there. You just want to go ahead and slide that pin in there and it'll sit in your airbrush securely. It's being the lever trigger. Then you want to go ahead and insert the lever scoop attached to the needle chucking guide at an angle and slide forward. Do not force it in, just make sure you go ahead and slide. It might take a little time, but be patient. Then you want to go ahead and slide the spring onto the needle chucking guide. Then you want to slide the spring case onto the needle chucking guide over the spring and twist until it's secure. This might take some time, as it took some time to slide it off, but you'll know when it's all the way in, and then just test out your lever to make sure it's not too tight. Okay, so once that's nice and secure, let's go ahead and add on our needle nozzle like so. And for this, you just want to go in and screw the needle nozzle in the front of the airbrush by hand. This will make sure that you don't damage the needle nozzle. Okay, it's really easy to go ahead and screw it in by hand, so you just want to go ahead and start off that way. Then you want to go ahead and tighten the needle nozzle just ever so slightly. Please make sure to not over tighten your needle nozzle, as you can possibly damage it or break it off in the threading of where the nozzle is supposed to slide in. Do not over tighten it, okay? Trust me, you don't want to be the one who breaks it off. I've done it before. You don't want that to happen. Then you want to go ahead and screw on the nozzle cap to the front of the airbrush. That's the one with the smaller orifice, as you can see here. Once that's on, then you just want to go ahead and take the needle cap and screw that onto the nozzle cap, just like so. Okay, now once that's complete and everything's nice and safe, you just want to go ahead and slide the needle in very carefully through the needle chucking guide until you feel it stop. There's no need to force it forward. You just want to feel it stop gently, and that's good enough. Then you want to slide the needle chucking nut over the needle and screw it into the needle chucking guide until it's secure. Don't over tighten, as your needle may not retract properly when you pull back on the lever. Then you want to slide the tail cap over the needle and corresponding parts and screw it until it's secure. And there you go, your airbrush is all ready, set, and put back together. For this particular airbrush, you don't really need to lubricate the lever, but here I'm just going to go ahead and show you how to do it. And I'm just going to take some mineral oil and a dropper. Add the mineral oil to the dropper like so, just by placing a little bit on my catch, my little dish here. Then we're going to use the dropper to apply the mineral oil to the orifice or opening that houses the trigger or lever. And you want to apply the oil by pulling back on the lever and dropping about 1 or 2 drops in the front of the trigger or lever, just like so. Now this is not a requirement for this specific airbrush, but most airbrushes will benefit from this step, so definitely get into the habit of doing it. Then you just want to go ahead and wiggle your lever to get the product in there and everything nice and lubricated. Now to clean off traces of the mineral oil, just use isopropyl alcohol on a towel. I like to keep it in a spray bottle, and then just wipe it off like so. Then you want to go ahead and reattach the lever grip if you have one. I personally love having a lever grip. You can find this at airbrushmakeup.com. Diner sells it. And that is it. Then you can go ahead and reattach your airbrush to the hose and test it out, girl. Yeah. For the test, I'm just going to go ahead and drop some water into the cup of my airbrush and set the tray, because it's black, down so you can go ahead and see how beautiful the spray is. So silky smooth. Yeah, girl. Yeah. And your airbrush is in tip-top shape. So that about wraps it up for this video. If you still have any questions, concerns, or comments, please feel free to put them in the comment box below. I love getting feedback and hearing back from you guys. And yeah, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, girl. You know you liked it, so go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Or if you found it helpful, of course. And remember to go ahead and subscribe to my channel if you're not already subscribed. And if you choose to subscribe today, or if you're already subscribed, don't forget to go ahead and hit that little notification bell icon right next to the subscribe button, girl, and turn on your notifications. That way you get the quickest updates anytime I upload a video. All right, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you all in my next one. Bye!